I find that to be just such a peaceful, like,
Seriously.
I get to
Just kind of
breathe.
like a little built-in meditation to
That's
center
right.
you.
That's right. uh, ladies and gentlemen, welcome to I guess we wouldn't say an episode. We might say a session of Trans Talks, sort of like therapy.
Kind of.
At least it is for me. I don't know about anybody else. I am Kieran. I use he, him pronouns.
I'm Adam. I use he, him pronouns. And we have a special guest today. One of our newest volunteers is joining us.
Hi, everybody. I am Chris. I use they, he pronouns. Thanks for having me.
Excellent. Now, do you prefer, a lot of folks choose that order? Do you prefer the default today or?
Yeah, so that's actually, it's part of the journey that I'm on right now, is like actually trying to figure that out. So I was they, them only for quite a while, and then finally kind of brought in the he. So I'm comfortable with either one.
Excellent. I believe it's been a little bit, but I think I also was kind of on that journey as well before I was ready to like fully
Yeah.
emerge.
Yeah.
And once I did, look out, world. All right. So, Chris, you want to tell us just a little bit about yourself?
Yeah, sure. Well, first of all, I'm super excited to be here. So thank you guys.
Yeah, of course. We're excited too.
So Karen and I have been chatting via social media through this really the work that Transjoy did and seeing things on social media. I reached out over a year ago, and at the time was not living local, and changed that, and really came here for more community and just feeling more connected to folks. And so originally from Florida. Um, Seventh generation Floridian, so like it's in
Ooh,
blood.
deep
Um,
cut.
yeah, and for all of its flaws, it's still home for me in a lot of ways. But love Atlanta, and yeah, just really wanted to start getting involved and make friends and create more community for my life. And so it's just been awesome to get to meet you guys. So
So this is the awkward moment where we're like, have you made friends with us?
and I'm not like in yet. Like I'm still,
Yes, you are.
Oh,
I'm,
Yes, you are.
yeah.
I'm
Chris came
trying.
out for Trans Day of Visibility
Yeah.
for our weekend event, and he's already been up to the house and at some meetings, and he's in.
Yeah,
I
Don't let
couldn't
him fool
believe
you.
that I missed them on. Yeah, Chris. When I heard that you were there, I was like, "How did I not run into you?" But you
You
know how
you
were
those
you were
events
playing
up
are.
there with
trumpet.
your little trumpet
I
doing your
love that you.
thing.
I love that you both play trumpet the same way. It's adorable. Oh my goodness. All right, so how are you all? I'm fine, probably. Everything's great. It's fine.
Tired.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Tired. It's exhausting. It's been exhausting.
I don't know why.
Well, yeah, it's not like everybody has full time jobs and families and relationships, and then everything you're doing is trans. I mean, it's just, I don't think people probably remotely understand how much you guys do behind the scenes. I think
Oh, thank you.
it's a big deal.
Thank you.
Yeah.
Thank you. You know, it's I really think, and I can only speak for myself here, although I suspect Adam would probably agree.
Usually.
And to be clear, Adam is doing like he's like the camel carrying all of us up the mountain. Do camels climb mountains?
I don't know.
This already
I'm
went
not.
sideways.
It's
Yeah.
yeah.
I
Well,
know for
in our
sure.
landscape,
We get the edge.
there's absolutely a mountain or several that Adam is constantly wrangling us. I'm doing a lot of school stuff. Adam is keeping this thing greased and moving, and so I can't take that credit. But what I can say is that the energy of all of the stuff that's going on, it like
Oh,
creates this. Oh, kitty cat.
we
We
weren't
all
gonna
need
get out of it.
a
Sorry, didn't
emotional
mean to interrupt.
support. Oh, I'm
Yeah.
sorry, Chris. Go ahead.
No, I was gonna say we weren't gonna get out of the cat appearance. So sorry.
No. And in fact, if we did, it would have been a shame. All this kind of pent up, at least for me, all the stuff that's going on around us, and we're just sort of expected as, a society to keep moving like nothing's happened, and nothing's happening. And we've been in this state at least since 2020, and some communities for far longer than that.
Yeah.
All that energy for me has to get put into something productive, or I won't put pants on and get out of bed. and I won't know what day it is, etc., etc. So for me, it's this kind of stuff is a very positive place to put that pent up energy.
Yeah. I mean, I feel like I think that that's part of what all of us, no matter what our identities, I think everybody's going through this, is this feeling of, I mean, I think we all work and operate in different spaces right now. I mean,
Yeah.
and you're very much focused on your degree right now in academia, right? And I'm in corporate America, and that's not something that I ever thought would be part of the story. Um, but I certainly notice it at work, right? Where it's just like, I mean, we've even had the team that I work on, we've had to rebrand that team. And I mean, it went through this entire internal legal process only because these buzzwords that our team focuses on are now, seen as disruptive, to say
Yep.
the least, right? In this political environment. And so I just think there's this sense that all of us feel of like, how do we carry all of these complex feelings and experiences and still show up for our responsibilities, because we have to. I mean, that's our survival
Yeah.
piece, right? And I think we as trans people certainly, I don't know, I just think we can lead the way in a lot of ways that people don't expect, because we've been surviving forever.
Yeah.
Really well
Having to
said.
When
hold.
we went to Pride to the Capitol, one of the speakers that was there brought up that power of the queerness and especially the trans community to hold that intersectionality, and that just stark difference and belief in myself versus what society says. And we've had to forge that, hard fought. But you're right. I think that's something that we as a trans community understand and can hold in a way that others can't yet, hopefully.
Yeah, and even within that, when we talk about this offline all the time, we're also very aware that, like, the three of us are sitting here and perceived white male, and
Mhm.
that comes with a tremendous amount of why can't I think of the word privilege? What's that word? Privilege that also I think uh, both enables us and also sort of requires of us to carry a little more responsibility towards ensuring that we're doing the best we can to create and maintain those spaces for
Yeah.
the other intersectional identities that
Yeah.
because we I think the plight that we face and of course it is different for every individual. I think one of the things that I suspect the three of us can relate to is that if we want to be visible, we have to make the effort to constantly, you know,
Mhm.
be intentional about that.
Yep.
And there's a privilege in that, and there's a little bit of it adds a different layer of complexity to the way that we move through the world, where there are other folks that do not have that choice, and it is incumbent upon those of us with the privilege that we carry with us to be able to make it as safe as possible for our siblings to show up in the ways that are authentic to them and that are true to them and that they feel the most safe in doing. And the truth is, and again, this is something we talk about a lot in the background, is we don't pretend to have all the answers for how to do that, other than to keep trying and to
Yeah.
keep listening and to keep asking how we can best do that, and to obviously educate ourselves in the best in ways that don't place that burden on other people. Excuse me, in as best we can. But anyway, that's the very, very Cal or Kieran long-winded way of saying, even within that, we carry a lot of privilege and responsibility with that privilege.
Yeah, and that's one of the reasons why we're creating this space with Trans Joy, because we can. We've talked with a couple of our other new volunteers recently just about how we as the trans community, like, this is a huge privilege to have this generation that has survived this long. Like, our general life expectancy is, in the books, is 25 to 39. I'm over 40. I'm over 45.
Not with
Like,
that face, no way. That's what we're supposed to say to each
like,
other.
but that's a huge privilege for us to even get to a point, because it's such a struggle to become adult as a trans kid. to begin with, and then to acquire the security in our life and our family and all those other things to have enough time to even do any outreach or nonprofit work. We're very, very blessed for that.
That's so true. You know, one of the things that this is making me think about is uh, uh, there are other really great organizations here in town in Atlanta that do cross across a bunch of different intersectional identities, which is so cool. And I think one of the most rewarding, enriching, fun, fill in the blank, you know, for any other words, of the work that we're doing is getting to know our siblings from other spaces and
Totally.
seeing the gifts that they're bringing into the work, you know, into the space and the work that they do. And it is, and how it overlaps in like concentric circles with us, because each of these individual organizations that we can talk about in just a second do similar but also different and very important work in different ways, which is pretty neat. Adam, you've been working a whole lot with these organizations in a number of capacities, if you want to talk about that.
Oh, did I jump out? No. Okay.
No, you're here.
Yeah, one of the one of the things I've been working a lot on this year is just our networking and getting involved in different coalitions and spaces where we can both be seen as the nice people that we are, because that is very, very powerful, but we can also show ourselves to our siblings as often as we can. And so through that, we've met some really great organizations. We're starting to partner up on more events, and we got something on Sunday for art as resistance and joy as resilience. That's going to be over at Neighborhood Church with Georgia Voices United and Georgia Equality. And I don't have it in front of me.
This is my favorite accidental thing
Test
that I do to Adam. Throw him a challenging question to test him.
Yeah, but I think one of the coolest things that we've done recently is the work that we did at the Capitol for Trans Day of Visibility, and the groups that we were able to partner with there. Most especially Community Estrella. I love working with Leanne, and she brought along Game Changing Men and Trans Women Recovery Project, or is it Trans Women of Color Recovery Project? Again, test Adam. I apologize.
We will get that right next time. Sorry, y'all. We're of all of the people to have as like a face that has to remember names of things, we're just doing our best.
We're a bunch of neurodivergent. Good luck on trying to. I mean, we try.
We are really doing our best. I just see our hearts, please.
Yes.
We'll have that right. And you know, we're still getting to know a lot of these folks. So
yeah, that was the first time that we've done an event with them. We've worked with Leanne in the past, but
yeah, she's really special. She's done a ton of work for years here in Atlanta, very frequently.
Over a decade.
Yeah, very frequently. It's just her. And you know, if you saw a picture of her today, you would be like, "Oh, I definitely have seen her in Atlanta." Because she wears this beautiful dress pretty consistently, like it's very identifiable. And she's just a beautiful human being who has been paving the way for the broader trans community in really important ways over the years. And now we get to we have the privilege of standing on her shoulders and the work that she's done to be able to continue to hopefully help amplify that work and help bring more eyes and ears to and take up some of the mantle of that, of course, as well.
Yeah. She and Community Estrella were one of the first people that even reached out to help us was the Trans Latina Coalition out in
That's
LA.
Right.
And Bambi from the Trans Latina Coalition
That's right.
Was like, do you know Leanne? You have to know Leanne.
And, right.
And over the years we've gotten to know Leanne. So that's great.
Shout out to Bambi doing good work over and that whole team doing
that whole team
awesome work over in LA. Yeah, we
Talk
love
about
them.
making something out of nothing. It's
Yeah.
amazing what they've accomplished.
And it's just a reminder of like these communities that have, you know, the trans community. We talk about this all the time, but it's so important for us, and that's why we keep saying it. Is it is such a diverse community. There are trans people in every single walk of life, in every
Hmm.
single community that's out there, and there is so much for us, not just as a trans community, but as like a community of human beings to learn from the folks who have done so much important work, who have shown resilience and not shown, but like demonstrated their resilience and their heart and their joy and their brilliance, and beauty and light. I could go on, um, in ways that help us have the opportunity to say, okay, which version of that do I want to be? And which version of that do I like? There's so many spaces where we can step in and say, hey, this actually really, this approach really resonates with me. And I think I can see myself in here. And that's, I mean, that's, I would argue that's a good chunk of how trans joy has
Yeah.
really evolved.
And that's why we decided to go to the Capitol with Leanne. It's
Yep.
not a place that we have a lot of roots because we are grassroots, right?
We're,
We
we're
are about
babies.
community. We're babies for one, but we're also about community. Like that's our heart. But with the state of the world, we've found ourselves needing to be at the Capitol more, and we thought that if any day Trans Day of Visibility was the day that we should be at the Capitol, so we agreed to come and spend all day at the Capitol. And I don't
A
know.
good
Do you
chunk
want
of
to
it.
dig? Yeah. Do you want to dig into it? How do we want?
It was such an interesting day.
It was a very interesting day.
As a side note, I can see we've got a handful of folks watching. We also monitor chat, so if you ended up wanting to throw anything in, we'll see it and say hi, unless you're a meanie, in which case, boo. But why do you hate fun? um, so in any case, yeah, feel free
Yeah,
to
I mean,
drop
and
those
any
in the
time
chat.
that the small amounts of time that I have spent at the Capitol, we have to realize that it is always up in the air. You never know exactly when these things are going to happen, if they're going to allow them to happen, back and forth, all that kind of stuff. Even Pride to the Capitol had similar issues in but yeah, we ended up having speakers drop out, and
Well, maybe we
the
start from like how it's typically how like it was supposed to be set up,
sure.
just so because a lot of folks probably don't know how that all plays out.
Yeah, so Leanne started I believe this was meant to be the 6th year that she's done some event at the Capitol for Trans Day of Visibility. Last year, she was convinced not to do it, so she wanted to make sure that she did something this year, and brought in us and some allies, and we planned a day at the Capitol. Um, Does that make sense? I guess.
Yeah, and so like the way that this, at least for our plans, was gonna run is that there's like we all meet up in the morning, and who was it that sponsored a little bit of breakfast for us? That was really nice.
That was Game Changing Men.
Game Changing Men
Mhm.
sponsored breakfast for us. We had a little I don't know if I'd call it private because anybody was really welcome, but we had like we had a room set aside, and
Yeah, we had a great room that was right outside where our press
yep,
conference was supposed to be and where the tables were, and it was
yep.
pretty fancy, really.
Yeah, and so we open up with sort of like an intro so that all the groups can know who each other are, and that was a nice little ceremony, I would say. Um, and
Yeah.
after that, the plan was to go over to the house side of the like the house meeting floor. What do we call that? Is that the floor? The floor of the house?
Mhm.
This is going well. We were gonna go over there
Yes.
and sit up in the gallery to be recognized by some of
Yeah.
the
They call it morning
representatives.
order.
Ah, yes, morning order,
Mhm.
where they,
Yeah.
you know, different representatives recognize different, you know, organizations, members of the community, and that sort of thing.
Yeah.
Celebrate, there were high school students that had won a championship, so they, were recognized. There were some uh, uh, crowns. They were like not princesses, but
Pageant winners.
pageant. There you go. Thank you.
Yes,
They looked
not
like
princesses. They did look like princesses, but they were not princesses.
I'm just doing my best over here.
I know.
And then after that, the plan was to go back to where there's a spot inside the Capitol. It's beautiful stairs. If you've ever seen like images from folks doing press conferences in the Capitol, it's a really beautiful spot on marble stairs in kind of just off the rotunda. And that's where we also can set up tables, so you can do some tabling so that folks can learn who your organizations are, or what it is that you're doing. That was the plan. And how did it go, Adam?
Yeah, it was just kind of a crapshoot all day long. We had some great volunteers that showed up. We had a couple. What was his name? Will, I think. Another one that we've been talking to for a while and we hadn't connected with.
Yeah.
Ended up being able to come to the event. So it was like we had a great time at breakfast. We got to chat with people.
Super cool people. Yeah.
Yeah. I mean, we really had a great morning. But from go, it was like we realized it was going to be in flux. Who was going to speak, who was not going to speak. And when we went for the morning order, Leanne came up behind me and she said that they were having trouble finding someone to do the morning order, to actually say it. And so they were behind the scenes trying to figure that out. And we just decided that we were going to march ourselves in and sit in the front of the balcony like we were supposed to. So and us as TransJoy being our obedient little helpers, we're of course right in front, right? So we're lining the edge of the balcony proudly. Turns out you're not supposed to wear a hat in there, by the way. They were very much like, sir.
That's Adam's biggest gripe.
Oops.
I understand. Yeah.
Not my hair.
Not my hair. So I don't know. Two things are happening at this point, right? So as they do the morning orders, nobody is actually at the desks below us in any, like the actual representatives haven't really started yet. This is what they do before they actually get started in the morning. And so as they call the glee club and all those kind of things, right? They get acknowledged, they stand, people clap, they say something nice, they leave. Right. So the balcony is clearing out as all of these kids start to leave. And they waited till the end to do ours. So we were basically alone in the balcony.
From start to finish, though, we were the cutest ones up there.
I mean, but the princesses.
You know what? You're right. You're right.
I mean, we can claim a lot.
But we did not have tiaras, and that was our.
We did not
mistake.
have tiaras.
That was where
next year, tiaras.
That's right. That was really where things started going sideways. Was we forgot the tiaras.
Can you imagine?
It was. I mean, it was. We're laughing. It was really cool to see so many different groups of people.
Oh, it was great, and they said some awesome things, and they had made some. They had some amazing accomplishments, and they deserved that recognition for sure. And when they got to us, they asked us to stand. So we're standing in the front of the balcony. And they start speaking. And I realized pretty quickly that they were not going to say Trans Day of Visibility. They called it Underserved Communities Day. And as they said that, I turned around. And all of our TransJoy shirts on the back is a big trans flag, and it says, "I am trans, I am brave, I am loved, or I am alive."
Guess what I have?
I am. Hey, look at that!
Oh, I'm not gonna be able to get it in the filter.
It's our secret invisibility shirt.
Yeah, I am joyful. Yeah. So that's what everybody down at that was speaking to us, trying to give us praise, was looking at. And as I turned around, then all down the line we turned around, which was powerful, I think. But the guts of it really is that on Trans Day of Visibility, our Georgia House representatives couldn't find one person willing to say Trans Day of Visibility. And beyond that, they weren't even able to, like, they went to the effort to define all the different ways you can be underserved or underrepresented, and still didn't manage to say trans. So that happened.
Yeah, the weirdness of that, well, there were several things that were strange about it for me. One, and to be so clear, the the groups of people that they were talking about, absolutely,
Yes.
we're not trying to diminish the need for visibility with those groups at all. So I want to start with that. I think for me, one of the things that stood out just kind of as the most hurtful about that experience was that, one, it was clear. We were very clear about why we were there.
Mm-hmm.
There's no, this event has been going on at the Capitol for several years. There's no ambiguity about who is standing up in the or in the what's that called, the balcony or whatever.
Yeah.
Because we were all wearing trans colors and like, so one, there was a bit of a disconnectedness I felt with what was being said on the floor and who was there, to be recognized. Um, Two, so that was a little bit of a weirdness, but I think the big thing there is that this is Trans Day of Visibility for our community is the one day that we set aside that we are really trying to bring out the positive for the community. We do have days of recognition that are more about the injuries and lives that have, the harms and the lives that have been lost, I should say, that are super important. And those are hard days. And every day watching the news, it's hard if you're a trans person, if you're, and to be clear, this is true for other communities as well.
Mm-hmm.
This is a day where the trans community has really tried to create a space where we can, one, see each other, because as we've talked about so many times here with you all, uh, it that visibility with each other is so important so that we can see each other being alive and thriving and being beautiful and being smart and loving and kind and intelligent and fighters and everything. Everybody gets a chance to see themselves somewhere in somebody else, which is just not an easy thing for us to see as such a small community who doesn't get represented in media, and if we do, it's oftentimes not positive. So,
Mm-hmm.
so that for the community itself is really important. And then the other side of that is this idea of visibility within the broader human community, and saying, "Hey, look, we are here. These are things that we bring to the table. This is how we want." To show up. This is a moment where we would like for you to see us. And we were joking about it being like the "you may now perceive me" day
Yeah.
in the background
Yeah.
of trans joy stuff. Um, we are inviting people to participate um, in the presence of our community. And so when it was delivered the way that it was by, I think it was Representative Sanchez,
Mm-hmm.
um, not only the thing that hurt me the most was not only was our community not recognized for the purpose that we were there, uh, but it was displaced entirely. It was replaced by a um, I don't want this to sound too flippant, but like by a made up holiday that, again, all of those communities are deserving of being seen as well. Um, However, that displaced the intent of of Trans Day of Visibility, and not only did it displace us, like we were erased within all of that,
That's the word.
and that was an intentional.
Mm.
There was an opportunity there to not do that.
Mm.
It was, as far as I could tell, an intentional decision to exclude the trans
Mm-hmm.
community. And I'm not saying it was to be cruel or mean, but but the damage that it does to that community is this acknowledgement of active erasure of us in a space where we're out there inviting you to join us, in our space at that moment. And so I
And
don't
the
know.
effort that it takes to do that, to
I'm sorry,
have
say that again.
and the effort that it takes to do that. I mean, we had volunteers come and young people come. I mean, it's not easy to walk through those halls and go through that metal detector and look that cop in the eye and be like, "Yeah, here's my IDs." You know, like
Right.
that's terrifying.
I
And
mean,
you
to your,
just yeah,
oh,
go ahead.
sorry.
I was just saying that you just nullified or told all of those people, especially those young people, that didn't matter.
Right. I wonder, because I was just thinking, uh, question for you both. My experience walking into there is like you're going into a space that you've heard the vitriol that comes out of the mouths of people that are in that building all the time. And that's a space that we're very intentionally walking into. And I wonder, especially for Chris, as I'm getting to know you, um, you know, what am I trying to ask? Essentially, like, how does it feel to you when you were walking into a space where you have anxiety about showing up as who you are? Like, what is that? Can you, not to put you on the spot and try to drag open some
I'm an open book. Yeah. No.
some wounds, but
Well, so I wasn't there for the day on the
Yeah.
Capitol. I wasn't able to attend that,
right,
but I make an active choice, and it's a choice that is deliberate, which I think is important to name. I make an active choice to be out as a trans person in my life everywhere.
Mhm.
I don't bring it up in every conversation because it's irrelevant, right? Depending on what we're talking about. But the conscious decision, it doesn't matter, in my opinion, it doesn't matter when or where or how you do it. When you make a conscious decision to identify as a trans person, young or old, black or white, all of the variations of who we are as a community, particularly in this environment, particularly in the Deep South, people cannot fathom how terrifying that can be. And just because the more you practice it, the more exposed you are to like living with that fear, doesn't mean the fear ever goes away. And I think that I could say, at least for me, it's not nearly as much about a fear of safety, although that's there. It would be ignorant for it to not be there, for me to be aware of that. But it's not so much about that. It's that fear of what I've carried my whole life, which is I'm going to be the outsider. I'm going to be the person that people criticize. I'm going to be the person that people make fun of. It's that really internalized sense of shame and embarrassment that people are courageous enough and
Mhm.
actively choose to say, despite that, I'm going to put myself, particularly this day, in public,
Mhm.
on camera,
Mhm.
and say, this is a part of who I am, and it matters enough that I'm not even doing this for me. I'm doing this in case one child, one person who was like me and thought they were alone, feels less alone. And so I think I have a variety of people. I was raised conservative Christian. I have the majority of people that I love vote Republican, have voted for the administration that we have, and yet simultaneously adore me.
Yeah.
And I live with that
yeah, for sure.
conflict. Right? I only bring that up because I think most trans people live with that conflict in one way or another. It could be our grandparents, our parents, our siblings, whoever. And so we are constantly faced with these decisions around what does it mean to feel, how do I find a way to feel grounded enough in myself that even when you are not affirming me, you are not validating me, that I am still willing to say, I'm still going to stand here and I'm going to stand in
Mhm.
my truth. And that to me is what Adam and others were modeling, is that yes, we need visibility because we just deserve to be able to be visible. But the act that it takes and that psychological process that it takes, um, it's a sacrifice.
Mm-hmm.
It takes something from us to do that and not be met with reception and love and care. And I think that that's the part that political leaders continue. They've been doing it forever to marginalize communities, right? But like they continue to miss the point
Yeah.
that I'm a tax-paying Georgia citizen. I proudly live in this state. I help build the infrastructure and community supports in this state. My life, per our Bill of Rights and Constitution, is equally valuable to the right to life, liberty, and the pursuit of happiness. And I think the people who choose to show up and keep just saying, I deserve these things, whether you acknowledge them or not, like, I just, the gratitude I feel for that sacrifice, I think it goes unnoticed because people don't know what it feels like to like
Yeah.
carry that load and choose.
Well said.
When we don't have,
Yeah.
Adam doesn't have to choose to carry that load. Adam could go around the world and not carry that load at all and blend
Yeah.
just fine as a passing.
I mean, I would argue that that I did that for decades, and there's pain and issue in that too, and hiding from yourself. I think the take home really is just that it's hard. It's hard to be trans. It's hard to figure out where you can fit into those things. And I love the way that you just said that, Chris. And I think that
Yeah.
that was really evident to especially our allies that came. We had a couple of allies, especially from when we stand.org, which is a Decatur based I don't know, human rights, I suppose. I don't, that is, struggle with a catchphrase there.
We're
But
still learning them.
one of their founders came and volunteered all day. He came for breakfast and he
Yep.
was our marshal. And he watched us walk up there proudly. He watched us be, just slapped in the face, and he watched us proudly stand there anyway. He watched us come out of there and have an entire group of trans people go, yeah, I mean, that's not surprising, and he was appalled that this entire group of people went par for the course, and you're right. I think a lot of people don't recognize the pure drain of energy that it takes to constantly prove that you are valid to yourself too. I mean,
I mean, you
because
think about you
damn.
go in and you go into that space, and I'm reminded of there was a big group of young ROTC kids, and I mean, the truth is I'm not a tall human, and Adam and I are about the same height, and right, we love to say we're a people of talls and smalls, and the we had to go downstairs. The way the Capitol bathrooms, that's a whole other episode worthy of itself. It's like the Capitol. It's like when they built the Capitol, they forgot the bathrooms would be needed. And so the bathrooms were just added as an afterthought, it seems like. So you have to like, on
There
the
literally weren't any women's bathrooms.
Yeah.
up and well, they added one to what, it's on like the fourth floor or third
Something like
floor or
that.
something.
Yeah.
Like the women may not use the restroom near anything. And I think so. We went down to the other restroom that we had access to is like on our floor. There were just no bathrooms, so you have to go downstairs into like this little cave space that felt like some sort of bunker that I walked past it several times before I actually even found where to go. Um, and it was packed full of essentially people in uniforms.
Mhm.
And the you're
State Patrol and ROTC.
right. And I'm not meaning to intentionally dump everybody in a category. However, in our community, there's and lots of marginalized communities, there's reason to have anxiety around groups of people in uniform. And now we're marching into the bathroom wearing "I am trans" shirts on. Like, and
Mhm.
you're absolutely like having to kind of like your way through these giant children in uniforms. And you don't know where any of them stand. You don't know where the people around you dressed in their nice suits. You don't, I don't know which ones are politicians and which aren't, and who's in there saying really freaking terrible stuff when given the opportunity and a microphone about our community. And so, even just forgetting being in the rafters up there, or whatever we call them,
Yeah.
even just showing up and, like you had said, Adam, showing your ID, uh, wearing, like, self-identifying. There was actually kind of a funny moment where we were tabling, and I guess we haven't talked about the press conference part yet, but we'll talk about that in a second. We were tabling, and there were a couple of kids that came up who were this really was the thing that made my entire day. Two
100%.
kids came up and were so excited. I mean, they must have been young high school. Came up and were so excited to see us. They were like, "Who are you? Like, this is amazing." They didn't quite they didn't quite articulate it this way, but essentially saying, it's amazing to see us here. They were shocked to see
Mhm.
us, understandably, in the capital, and in a place where so many communities have been made to feel like that space is not for them.
Mhm.
And shoot, we were given that signal just 10 minutes before that space was not for us. No, it is. It is for you. It is for me. It is for all of us. And so to have those couple of kids that came up and were just so excited to see us was awesome. Now, uh, they showed up, thank goodness, about 10 seconds after this other little incident happens. So we did have quite a few folks that came past our table, and I think communities today had a table, and maybe somebody else did as well. So we had a lot of folks, kind of filtering through. We were giving away stickers and buttons and stuff, and we were well received, pretty well across the board. If only with curiosity, if not enthusiasm.
And you
There,
could see the people that were going to avoid us were going to walk all the way around,
oh
right?
yeah,
Like,
yeah, yeah. Yeah, yeah,
just
yeah. And that's fine. And that's fine. Um,
we're used to that too.
yeah, like, okay. Good. Yeah. Go live your best life. That's fine. This one woman came up, and now I want to set the scene. We're taking up, like, we're in the middle of the atrium area, and we have tables that literally have trans flags all over them,
Mhm.
and trans and
And
rainbow.
our flag that says trans joy,
Like,
rewriting the narrative.
yeah, it's big. It's a regular
It's big.
flag size. And so like, I'm not sure how you would not be sure what you were walking up on. This is okay. This sometimes happens. I get it. Sometimes I'm not paying attention either. However, this woman, a couple of folks there, and then there was this woman who was sort of like picking up our stickers and looking at them and putting them down, and picking up the pins and looking at them and putting them down. And we've got this cute sticker. It's a Protect the Dolls sticker. And that's a phrase, if you're not super in the trans community, that's a phrase that's really been used quite a bit to represent, our intent as a community to protect the trans women in the community, because they are disproportionately, and
Mhm.
especially trans women of color, are disproportionately affected by all sorts of different types of violence. So,
Mhm.
Protect the Dolls is this kind of cute sort of flag wavy way to say, look, we're serious about making sure that we're taking care of our community members, and especially the most marginalized. So anyway, so we've got this cute sticker, the Protect the Dolls sticker. She picks it up and she looks at it and looks at me and kind of says, what does this mean? Like, what dolls? Why dolls? Um, and I was pretty sure, because I'd sort of been just, watching the table, and I was like, I think she knows what she's looking at. She doesn't like what she's looking at, but she did not know what the Protect the Dolls thing was. And my initial reaction was thinking, oh, I bet she thinks this is some related to kids in some way. Um, so in any case, well, so I on the inside, I'm very good at playing it cool most of the time, but on the inside, I'm like, oh, she's gonna hate this answer. And so I tell her what it means. I'm like, oh yeah, it means, you know, it's a phrase for us as a community and as humanity, making sure we're protecting trans women. And she looks at this thing, she glares at me. She looks at the thing again. She glares at me, looks me right in the eye, and throws it down on the table and stomps away. And the other woman that was at the table and I kind of look at each other and we're like, okay. And these are the moments where I kind of can't help myself. And my way of retaliating is I kind of shout to her, "Have a wonderful day." You know, she's kind of stomping off.
Yeah.
So
we also like to thank people for engagement when they post things.
Yeah. My favorite thing. Actually, I don't know if you saw it as totally a sidebar, but there's a couple of, it might be the same person, it might be the same bot, I don't know. But it's two different accounts that were posting on several of our things over the last couple weeks. I will say, if there's something like egregious, I will take it down. I'll hide it. And there were a couple things I did hide, and I won't engage with those. But if they're just sort of like that stuff we're used to hearing, yeah, like being silly. So I'll usually respond like, "Oh my gosh, you know, really appreciate your engagement. It really helps our message get out." Sometimes they'll come back. I've had a couple of different responses to this. Sometimes they'll come back and sort of engage. The most recent one was like, actually, it helps get my message out too. And so there was one post, I forget, it might have been about our Viking not activity thing, but anyway, so they were posting specifically about that. And I at some stage this person kept posting and I was like, "Oh, welcome back." Let's just say their name was Ryan. I don't remember their name. "Welcome back, Ryan. It's really great to see you again. You seem to be hanging out on our page a lot. Is there anything I can do for you?" You know, like I love meeting them with joy. And the best case scenario is they do what this person did. At the end of the day, I was like, "Hey, you take care, have a great one." And at the end of the kind of thread, they responded back, "Yep, hope you do too." Okay. Yeah. Okay. And worst case scenario, no, that's okay. Worst case scenario is they self-edit and they just delete their own stuff because they're like, "Oh, okay."
Yeah, but back to the lady at the table, right? And you've got those kids on their field trips and all that kind of stuff all happening at the same time. Like those kids both see and know that action already as kids. They understand that adults' action.
Yep.
And that shouldn't be the case, for one. We had more kids come back with a bathroom pass to get stickers after the fact because they couldn't stop with their group, right? These are children that we're putting, and they're scared to be there too.
Right. That is such a good point. That's such a good point. Yeah. And they don't get to choose. They have to be on the field trip.
Yeah.
It
matters. It matters that we're there. It matters that we showed up. It matters that they chose to erase us, which is why we need to document it here, if for nothing else, for our little time capsule of the world.
Yeah. Do you want to show, we have it queued up, although Adam, you might need to refresh it because it looks like it's spinning in my little situation room here. We can show the clip of the on the speech on the floor. Okay, there we go. You ready for me to pull it up? We good?
Sure.
Okay, great. I will go ahead and do that.
Representative Sanchez. Gentleman's recognized. And friends.
Thank you, Mr. Speaker. Let me get over here. Good morning, colleagues. Today, we have friends here in the Capitol with us recognizing Underserved Communities Day here at the state Capitol. We proudly recognize all Georgia community advocacy organizations for their work and service in educating our friends and neighbors about the challenges and contributions of underserved Georgians. We are proud to represent all those in power who are dedicated to defending, organizing, and empowering the human rights of underserved Georgians, including racial minorities, victims of gender-based violence like domestic violence, sexual minorities, indigenous peoples, Hispanic community, and others. Underserved Communities Day serves as an important opportunity to foster understanding, inclusivity, and acceptance within our state. We have members from the community, including Community Estrella, here with us. If we want to honor them today, thank you, members. Thank you so much, Mr. Speaker. I yield the well.
Pretty quick cut away
Thank you
from
for
us.
being here with us today, and
Yeah,
thanks for your
that's-
work in the communities.
All right, let me see if I can figure out how to turn this back off. Oh, there we go.
Yeah,
Huh.
you'll like all the other they fade in, pause, and fade out, and we got about 2 seconds. But
Sorry, I'm pushing buttons that I didn't know I could push.
Yeah.
Sorry. I did not mean to distract. Sorry. So, go say that again, Adam.
You distracted me too.
Yeah.
That everybody else, they panned in for a second and then they
Ah,
panned
yes.
out.
Yeah.
And,
That's right.
Yeah, which is like, I don't know. And we saw a lot of them in the halls after the fact, and I mean they knew they were wrong. You can tell when somebody knows they're wrong.
They were not. They were embarrassed to
They were embarrassed.
have to talk to us after the fact.
They were
for
embarrassed
sure.
to have to follow us around. Yeah.
So then we do that event, and we're like, well, that sucked, but okay. We get down there, we set up the tables for the tabling and the press conference, which all of us had spent a lot of time putting, the speeches together for our different organizations, and we were told as we were pretty much set up, and it was about time to do it, that the press conference had been canceled. It was not clear to me as to why. I mean, I'm certain I know why, but I wasn't clear on the reasoning that we were given.
Yeah, I think the rationale for those press conferences is so, like I said, they did the same thing with Pride to the Capitol, and it got pushed back a little bit. Like I don't like that was one of those they never intended to give us the microphone. They never intended to give us the acknowledgement of our day. So just next time, don't say yes, because you don't get the gold star for underserved people's day.
Yeah.
And like
Right.
you can't have it both ways. If you're gonna say no, then you deserve the repercussion of that no.
Yeah, I think the strange thing to me is it would have been a better scenario for them. If I'm putting myself in their shoes, and whoever the decision makers are, whoever they are, and the folks who are sort of I don't know if sponsor is the right word, but like sponsoring, facilitating us being there, because you work through people's
Yeah.
offices to do that. It would have been a better scenario for them to just say, this is not the right time, or whatever it is that they would say.
All booked up. You can't have a space.
Right. Rather
just
than
say no. Yeah.
rather than put themselves in a bizarre position, putting us in just a crappy position. Like you're making a community of people who are doing real work in the community to try to make it Atlanta an even more inclusive space. That is a value that you're claiming to be very, very for. And so you're creating this tension in that relationship between you and this already disfavored community. I don't pretend to know what the underpinnings of that decision-making process ends up being over time. Like when you say yes at first, and then like as time goes on, I know lots of things change. But I don't know. It doesn't seem strategically smart to me either.
I think that's why, to me, like the press conference getting canceled hurts my heart, right? It hurts that we had beautiful things to say about our beautiful community and we didn't get to say them. Like that hurts. And that was the easy mic grab, right? Like they had the opportunity to write this. It's actually, they had to say it on the floor. They had to actually make a bill in the HR 2057. I'm looking at it right now, to actually make there be an underserved communities day, right? Which is just why put the effort? I can't hear you.
Oh, yeah, he went out.
I muted myself when I took a drink, and I never came back. I was I don't remember what I was saying. It doesn't matter. Do we have? I can't remember. Adam, did we want to show that clip to folks? Do we have that clear play queued up
For
the speech? Did we mean to show that here? I don't remember if we planned to do that or not.
we have it on. I would say it's already on YouTube, and it's a 5-minute speech. So I would say to go look at it there, unless we want to play it here.
It doesn't matter to me. Transjoy USA on YouTube. It's also on our social media, but I'd argue that the best experience of watching it probably is YouTube.
Yeah. And from trans-joy.com, you can get to all of that stuff too. So
that's right.
And all our events and things like that. Spend some time on our YouTube page. We got some good stuff.
Yeah, we cute.
Cute. We cute.
Yeah, so that was kind of a weird experience. But what did we do after that?
Huh?
We did a thing after that. Trans Day of Visibility. Do you remember? You were there. After we went to the Capitol, we went on TV.
Oh, that's right. Jesus Christ.
I didn't know. I couldn't. There was no other way for me.
I am so sorry. The amount of meetings that this brain keeps in its head.
Hey, and once it's passed, we're done.
We did that.
I totally get it.
Successfully did that. That's right. We did. We were on Atlanta News First for Trans Day of Visibility, and they actually did an amazing job of creating a visible space for us. They had graphics made and everything. It was amazing.
Yeah, their producer was fantastic. The hosts were amazing. We had the little extra benefit of being the first segment in the show, so we got to hang out with the crew and cast for just a little bit as they were kind of getting set up, and genuinely great people. Like and I'll say that organization has always, like, Atlanta Freedom Bands is featured on there periodically. Like anytime there's a parade, they generally do such a good job of making sure that AFB is shown. Like they're so good about showing the beauty and the diversity of the Atlanta community.
Yes.
And the way that they were so respectful, and they asked they engaged with us the right way. It was just such a great experience working with those folks.
We could use some PR help, but they were
we're just doing our best.
We never plugged ourselves. We never gave a website. We did nothing. Not just happy as can be.
I will say, like, I think the way that we showed up after
it was great.
First part of the day we had, like, I think we
really, and it's the first time we've ever done a TV thing. I thought it was great.
Yeah,
we did good.
You know, truth be told, and I'm sure everybody can relate to this. Afterwards, I looked at Adam and I was like, I don't know why I answered some of those questions the way I did, but whatever. It was fine. And then I went back and looked, and I was like, oh yeah, no, it was totally fine. So, you know, I'd say, like, one of the things that this organization, the work in this organization, has been really good for me personally, for at least, is sort of that elevator pitching and the answering of questions that I maybe haven't worked through for myself just yet. You know, there's opportunity here for us to say, oh yeah, so how would I like people to engage with me? Like, like I'm asking to be seen, but then what does that actually practically mean? You know, having the opportunity to sort of think through that, refine my answer as I grow in my answers there is pretty cool.
Yeah, we're lucky that we started when we did, that we could get that muscle going, because our trust, you don't come right at having conversations about being trans and have it be smooth.
Oh, and look,
I'm sorry to anyone that I originally talked to back.
That's the truth. Chris, you're doing so great on this conversation. I can't remember if we've shared this on air or not. We did what was that fun con that we did? Oh, MomoCon. We were at MomoCon, and the joke that Adam and I have had over many years is that I can be kind of a glitter bomb. I can be really excited and show up as like, woo, you know, because that's just me. And I at MomoCon, it's a there's a different crowd there, and I am so outgoing, and a lot of the folks that were coming up to us in that space. Now, granted, by the time anybody got to us, we're on the freaking far end, and this is not a complaint, by the way, but we're on the far end, and that means that a lot of people have already done a lot of walking to get to us, and so they're probably already tired. Number one. Number two, that there's a lot of communities in that space that might not be as outgoing as me, and this is where Adam and I were like, oh, okay, no, my approach is actually pretty not working here. It's like I realized in that space I was not being received in the way
It was
that I would.
terrifying people.
I was absolutely so there was this one poor human being. So the
I was
first
trying
day,
to teach him how to do
Yeah.
it, right? Because you can't you can't just walk up to somebody that
Ha!
you know is trans. Like
Right.
they have to have
and,
some,
and I
some
wasn't doing
flair
that,
or
to be
something,
clear.
right?
I
Yeah,
wasn't doing
no.
that.
Yeah, but we're walking through, and I'm like, look, that person has every flag
pin.
imaginable,
Every pin.
all the pins, all the
Well-
like. These are our people. You are safe to go approach.
Yeah. And so we even rehearsed, like.
We did.
Now, first of all, this is gonna make me sound way creepier than I am. Like, first of all, like we spotted this person because I mean they're wearing all sorts of flair. We spotted this person from a little bit of a distance, and so before we approach, I'm like, okay, so here's what this is what I do, right? It is like I'd never talked to people before. I talk to people all the time, but in this case, I had like the day before. I was like, Adam, I think I'm broken. I don't know I don't know how to people, and so Adam's like coaching me along. So anyway, we're like an aisle away from this person, and I was like, okay, practicing what I was gonna say. I walk up. I blacked out. I really don't remember what I said, but it terrified the poor human. I was like, oh my gosh, I love your pins and stickers and whatever the heck. And
but like popped into this person's frame of view from nowhere, basically. Yes, exactly. And then it would like what? Probably the next day or later that day. I don't remember. But this person passes by the booth again later, and you could just see them kind of like make eye contact.
They could not have stayed further away across the aisle, and it was like looking like this, and all I could do. So Adam is sitting at the table, and I'm standing behind him, and neither one of us looked at each other. And all I said was, "That's my bad. That 100%. That's on me." And Adam goes, "Yep."
we lost that one.
Yep, yeah, we lost one. We lost one. And I was like, yeah, that's on me.
We're always learning. We're always learning.
And just when you get confident, life will take you down a run. Anyway,
Lord
so
have mercy.
So the way that gosh, this has been a great conversation.
Yes,
I feel
need
better getting some of this
good.
stuff off
Yep.
my chest. So the way that Chris and listeners, the way that we love to end any conversation that we ever have is to talk about what our current joys are. So gentle folk, what are your current joys?
I'll go first. My just even thinking about all the things that we've talked about and what we have planned for this week and months and all the like, this team is 100% my joy. To watch something that I love with all my heart grow to the point of having actual people help us do it is amazing. And to be able to have enough of those people that I trust enough that because we had to leave folks at the Capitol to be able to go to do the interview, right? And
that's right.
We are such a great team. That's so easy for us just to go, you got this? Okay. Yeah.
And not only you got this, but thank you for holding it down so that we can spread ourselves out this way.
Yes. Yeah, 100%. So that's my joy, especially right now.
I love that.
Yeah.
Well, I'm going to give you two. The first is you guys. And I mean that.
I love it.
Really, yeah. And I think, for folks that maybe are like me and are more introverted, it took me almost a year since I lived here to finally reach out. And so like to have this,
And that was even after talking to us.
yes, like
Yeah.
that's how
Fair
scary it was
enough.
for me. You know what I mean? So,
Yeah.
so I just encourage other people that struggle like that. Like, don't give up. Just keep, the people that really want to be close with you will give you that space and understanding of like, hey, you don't have to be perfect. You
For
don't have
sure.
to show up and be comfortable yet, like, and you guys have really provided that for me. So thank you, because it's been really profound. This is all, people that are listening don't know this, but like this has all happened in the last week. So, and yeah, like, and then spring,
I love that.
Yeah.
Spring is in full bloom, and I am just in love with, it's not something we get in Florida. I am just in
Good
love
point.
green, these rich, fresh greens, and just like really, truly feeling held by nature. When everything else is kind of hard for me to hold on to sometimes.
Mm.
That constancy of sort of remembering I am connected to this larger
Yeah.
world, and universe
Yeah.
that's always in motion and always evolving, and it grounds me. So it's been really fun to see everything starting.
Yeah. There really is something about the witnessing growth and seeing the revitalization of things. And I don't know about you, Chris. I know Adam and I both, in our respective ways, love to do a lot of like gardening and that sort of thing. And being able to help facilitate growth in that way is pretty special. And I am just so pleased you emerged from your first pollinating. Excited. Anybody that is not from Georgia or doesn't live in a place that does this, Atlanta has, and probably broader Georgia, has just this unbelievably polleny window in spring where everything is just coat. I mean, you can feel it in your
Like
mouth.
clouds blowing off of the trees.
Yeah. It is
Yeah.
in your mouth. It is in your eyes. It is on your skin. If you sweat, like if you're outside running or anything, it's like you're catching it as you go. It's an experience.
Intense. I'm not, it's only hitting me at night now. So I'm like, as I walk at night and go out, and I mean, everything is just like, I can't breathe, but we're getting toward the end of it.
Yeah, and you don't need to be
Yes.
able to breathe to appreciate the beauty of.
No, but it's been what's come with it. So yeah, I love it here. I really do.
Yeah,
We're glad you're here.
we're so glad you're here. And I'll give my joy in just a second. But the thing I wanted to mention, off of what Chris had just said around, you know, taking time to meet, we're going to be here at TransJoy, and there are other organizations out there as well that have space for all sorts of different types of people. So, and one thing that we really value, and I try to mention it every time that we're talking to anybody, one thing we really value is trying to be a space that's approachable, because we know it's so scary to come out.
Yes.
And know that if like the outgoing people freak you out, we've got the less outgoing, like the more introverted. Like Adam is such a calm. He's somebody I need in my life, because I need that calm, because I'm like woo all the time. If you need the woo, I'm here for it. If you don't need the woo, Adam's here for it. And we have people all the way in between.
Yes.
So and we really, really try to make it as easy for somebody to show up as possible. If we have seen you before, or if we haven't seen you before, we do our best to make sure that we introduce ourselves. So yeah.
Can I add
Anyway.
one quick thing here, Karen? Just
Yeah, of
so
course.
I know we're at time, but it's just something I want to plug, because it was something I didn't really appreciate until I met you guys, which is the experience that you're really trying to create is community. It literally is being present with one another, being able to show up as we are. This idea of when you talk about meetups and you talk about events, it's not to ask that people do anything. It literally is like, we want you to just show up. And we're not going to demand anything, and we're not going to expect anything. Like, we literally want you with us, and we want to be here with you. And I don't know many places that people can find that kind of energy, that like, oh, there's no pressure. If going to the Capitol isn't something I feel comfortable with, okay, we've got you. Like, there's no pressure to do that. And I just think I just wanted to name that because I think it's important for people to understand. So
Thank you.
yeah.
Well, that's probably my joy.
Right?
Right there. Thanks, Chris.
Yeah.
We can go now. Thank you so much. That's what we've been trying to do.
Yeah.
That's we it's amazing to know that somebody feels that way. Wow. Shoot. Well, we should have had Chris go last. My
Sorry.
lesson learned. No, that was wonderful. Thank you. My joy is I kind of pointed and smiled when Chris, you were like, I'm gonna say two joys because I always say two joys as well. And Adam's like, you can't just have one. um, I have two joys right now. One of which is kind of to piggyback off of what Adam said, actually, around having co-founded this thing and then like being head on into it, and then like having a lot of conversations with Adam about what it would look like if I decided to go off and work on another degree, and being nervous about doing that and not wanting to upend the work that we've been doing because I care so deeply about it, and also having this opportunity where I think it could really help extend the work long term. It's not necessarily today, but like long term, help extend the reach and the work that we're doing. Seeing how that has played out and how Adam, I mean, the work that he does enables me to go and do this. I would not be able to do the work that I'm doing with school without my partner Sal first and foremost, and very close second in line is Adam, and that's the truth. I have had moments of insecurity around just not being able to be as present because I just cannot. There's just physics will not allow it.
Yeah.
Right.
And as this thing continues to grow, as Adam, it's still my baby. There's never a moment where I don't trust Adam, and that's always been true. Thank goodness, and that was the only reason we could ever start this thing to begin with.
Sure.
And to just consistently feel like I'm given so much grace for that. And Adam has reminded me of the vision of what the work that I'm doing, and has always reminded me of that connection remaining important, which always helps my heart because it's it's so important to me. And to see that it is continuing to grow and evolve into this increasingly more beautiful space where community continues to get built, and continuing to ensure that in the ways that I'm able to be, I remain as plugged in as I can, and present, more to the point, as best I can, which is, I won't lie, it's really hard right now to do that. And so Adam continuing to, and I know it's extra work. I mean, he's doing two people's work and oftentimes more than that, plugging into all these other communities that we're doing. So that one of my joys is Adam, period.
Thank you.
Being that guy. And I love you to death. I could not be doing what I'm doing without you. And that's the truth for so many reasons that we couldn't even cover all of here. And then second joy is just all the learning I'm doing. Like the connections that I'm making. I'm not at a space yet where I'm smart enough to be able to articulate all of those questions or all of those connections in the ways that I want to, but they're definitely things that and Adam, again, very generously lets me practice on him. Like, here's what I think, and he's like, I'm sure it's good.
That's not true.
No.
You're way more articulate than that.
I appreciate it. So as the work that I'm doing in school sort of started over here and we're over here, it is like I know there's the vision. Adam and I, and Adam probably before me, had the vision of us being able to merge and meet in the middle there. It's happening a little bit. Like little tendrils are there, and so and that's I love it. It's such a joy for me, and I starting to see the engines starting to kind of pick up, and what we'll be able to do to move the community forward in whatever ways that we can. And our version of that, Chris, I so appreciated you saying that's community. You know, we're not built for, nor do we generally care to be like in the very literal sense of the political space. Our bread and butter is the people living day to day in the daily lives space, and how do we get through that together. So that's my joys.
Beautiful.
We did it.
We did it.
Thank you, guys.
Oh my gosh, Chris, it's amazing having you on the team. It's amazing having you chatting with us here, and I have a sneaking suspicion that we're gonna snag you for a bunch more of that if you're down for it.
I'm down for it. Yeah. We'll keep
Awesome.
figuring it out. Yeah, just a busy day for me. So
Yeah.
Yeah. Well, I adore you both so much. And friends out there in the interwebs world, we love you so much. We hope that we're leaving you with a little bit of joy, a little bit of love. If you get an opportunity, go outside, make sure you're taking care of yourselves. And ladies and gentlemen, always hydrate. All right. Love you so much. Mwah.
mwah.
Till next time.